Hello, it's dinner time. We are on Exodus 17. And all the congregation of the children of Israel set out on their journey from the wilderness of Sin, according to the mouth of Jehovah, and camped in Rephidim. And there was no water for the people to drink. Therefore the people strove with Moshe and said, "Give us water to drink." And Moshe said to them, "Why do you strive with me? Why do you try Jehovah?" And the people thirsted there for water, and the people grumbled against Moshe and said, "Why did you bring us out of Mizraim to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst?" Then Moshe cried out to Jehovah, saying, "What am I to do with this people? Yet a little, and they shall stone me." And Jehovah said to Moshe, "Pass over before the people, and take with you some of the elders of Israel, and take in your hand your rod, with which you struck the river, and go. See, I am standing before you there, on the rock of Horeb, and you shall strike the rock, and water shall come out of it, and the people shall drink." And Moshe did so before the eyes of the elders of Israel. And he called the name of the place of Massah and Meribah, because of the strife of the children of Israel, and because they tried Jehovah, saying, "Is Jehovah in our midst or not?" And Amalek came and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moshe said to Yehoshua, "Choose for us men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I am stationing myself on the top of the hill with the rod of Elohim in my hand." And Yehoshua did as Moshe said to him, to fight with Amalek. And Moshe, Aharon, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to be, when Moshe held up his hand, that Yisrael prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moshe's hands were heavy, so they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. And Aharon and Hur supported his hands, one on one side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Yehoshua defeated Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And Jehovah said to Moshe, "Write this for a remembrance in the book, and recite it in the hearing of Yehoshua, that I shall completely blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under the heavens." And Moshe built a slaughter place and called its name Jehovah Nisi, for he said, "Because a hand is on the throne of Yah, Jehovah is to fight against Amalek from generation to generation." And Yithro, the priest of Midian, Moshe's father-in-law, heard of all that Elohim had done for Moshe and for Yisrael, his people, and that Jehovah had brought Yisrael out of Mizraim. And Yithro, Moshe's father-in-law, took Zipporah, the wife of Moshe, after he had sent her back, with her 2 sons, of whom the name of one was Gershom, for he said, "I have been a sojourner in a foreign land." And the name of the other was Eliezer, for he said, "The Elohim of my father was my help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh." Yithro, Moshe's father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife to Moshe in the wilderness, where he was encamped at the mountain of Elohim. And he had said to Moshe, "I, your father-in-law, Yithro, am coming to you with your wife and your 2 sons with her." And Moshe went out to meet his father-in-law and bowed down and kissed him. And they asked each other about their welfare, and they went into the tent. And Moshe told his father-in-law all that Jehovah had done to Pharaoh and to the Mithrites for Yisrael's sake, all the hardship that had come upon them on the way, and how Jehovah had delivered them. And Yithro rejoiced for all the good which Jehovah had done for Yisrael, whom he delivered out of the hand of the Mizrites. And Yithro said, Blessed be Jehovah, who has delivered you out of the hand of the Mizrites, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, and who has delivered the people from under the hand of the Mizrites. Now I know that Jehovah is great, greater than all the mighty ones, indeed, in the matter in which they acted proudly above them. Then Yithro, the father-in-law of Moshe, brought the ascending offering and other slaughterings unto Elohim, and Aharon came with all the elders of Yisrael to eat bread with the father-in-law of Moshe for Elohim. And it came to be on the next day that Moshe sat to rightly rule the people, and the people stood before Moshe from morning until evening. And when the father-in-law of Moshe saw all that he did for the people, he said, What is this that you are doing for the people? Why do you sit by yourself, and all the people stand before you from morning until evening? And Moshe said to his father-in-law, Because the people come to me to seek Elohim. When they have a matter, they come to me, and I rightly rule between one and another, and make known the laws of Elohim and his Torot. And the father-in-law of Moshe said to him, What you are doing is not good. Both you and these people with you, you shall certainly wear yourselves out, for the matter is too heavy for you. You are not able to do it by yourself. Now listen to my voice. Let me counsel you, and Elohim be with you. Stand before Elohim for the people, and you shall bring the matters to Elohim, and you shall enlighten them concerning the laws and the Torah, and show them the way in which they should walk, and the work which they do. But you yourself seek out from all the people able men who fear Elohim, men of truth, hating unfair gain, and place these over them to be rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And they shall rightly rule the people at all times. And it shall be that they bring every great matter to you, but they themselves rightly rule every small matter. So make it lighter for yourself, for they shall bear with you. If you do this word, and Elohim shall command you, then you shall be able to stand, and all this people also go to their place in peace. And Moshe listened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he said. And Moshe chose able men out of all Yisrael, and made them heads over the peoples, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. And they rightly ruled the people at all times. The hard matters they brought to Moshe, but they rightly ruled every small matter themselves. And Moshe sent off his father-in-law, and he went away to his own land. In the 3rd new moon, after the children of Israel had come out of the land of Mizraim, on this day they came to the wilderness of Sinai, for they set out from Rephidim, and had come to the wilderness of Sinai, and camped in the wilderness. So Yisrael camped there before the mountain. And Moshe went up to Elohim, and Jehovah called to him from the mountain, saying, This is what you are to say to the house of Yaakov, and declare to the children of Yisrael. You have seen what I did to the Mizrites, and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. And now, if you diligently obey my voice, and shall guard my covenant, then you shall be my treasured possession above all the peoples, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be to me a reign of priests and a set-apart nation. Those are the words which you are to speak to the children of Israel. And Moshe came and called for the elders of the people, and set before them all these words which Jehovah commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, All that Jehovah has spoken we shall do. So Moshe brought back the words of the people to Jehovah. And Jehovah said to Moshe, See, I am coming to you in the thick cloud, so that the people hear when I speak with you, and believe you forever. And Moshe reported the words of the people to Jehovah. And Jehovah said to Moshe, Go to the people and set them apart today and tomorrow, and they shall wash their garments, and shall be prepared by the third day. For on the third day Jehovah shall come down upon Mount Sinai before the eyes of all the people. And you shall make a border for the people all around, saying, Take heed to yourselves that you do not go up to the mountain or touch the border of it. Whoever touches the mountain shall certainly be put to death. Not a hand is to touch it, but he shall certainly be stoned or shot with an arrow. Whether man or beast, he shall not live. When the Yobel sounds long, let them come near the mountain. And Moshe came down from the mountain to the people, and set the people apart, and they washed their garments. And he said to the people, Be prepared by the third day. Do not come near a wife. And it came to be on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings, and a thick cloud on the mountain. And a voice of a shofar was very strong, and all the people who were in the camp trembled. And Moshe brought the people out of the camp to meet with Elohim, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. And Mount Sinai was in smoke, all of it, because Jehovah descended upon it in fire. And its smoke went up like the smoke of a furnace, and all the mountain trembled exceedingly. And when a voice of the shofar sounded long and became very strong, Moshe spoke, and Elohim answered him by voice. And Jehovah came down upon Mount Sinai, on the top of the mountain. And Jehovah called Moshe to the top of the mountain, and Moshe went up. And Jehovah said to Moshe, Go down and warn the people, lest they break through unto Jehovah to see, and many of them fall. And let the priests who come near Jehovah set themselves apart too, lest Jehovah break out against them. And Moshe said to Jehovah, The people are not able to come up to Mount Sinai, for you warned us, saying, Make a border around the mountain and set it apart. And Jehovah said to him, Come, go down and then come up, you and Aharon with you. But do not let the priest and the people break through to come up to Jehovah, lest he break out against them. And Moshe went down to the people and spoke to them.